Good evening, gentle listener, and welcome to Distractible. This week, the lads go in elbow deep as Mark heads up proceedings with a game of yay or nay. Bob claims Uma Thurman's eyes are too far apart, but would telepathically share all. Wade is worried about baby bondage, lords the mind over form, and rejects ultimate awesomeness. From robot insemination to pulp fiction. Yes, it's time for Will You Press the Button? Now sit back and prepare to be distracted and enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to Distractible. My name is Markiplier and I'm your host for this week. And of course, I continue my winning streak and Bob continues his losing streak. By sheer random chance, we have determined that I'm the winner.
Totally fair, random chance, completely fair chances.
I mean, you literally saw the spins. I couldn't do anything differently.
No, yeah.
I literally showed the flips. There was nothing I could have done differently.
Yeah,
you picked them.
It's fair. Oh, yeah. It's fair. Look how fair it is.
I mean, literally, if I hold it like this, how can I flip it without you knowing?
I don't know how you
I
cheated,
can't-
Mark.
I can't,
I'm not the one who did it.
All right,
There
whatever.
was something great about watching you try to suck your lid to show him with your mouth.
I wanted it to be fair.
No, it was. That's what I'm saying. It was fair, Mark. It was very fair.
I thought it was fair.
Good, good. I'm glad we all agree to that. But on this very fair and very fun fair day, how are you guys doing?
Good.
This one's for all the listeners only out there.
Wow, Bob, tell them how you really feel.
Yeah, Bob's giving all of you Spotify video viewers an answer, whereas I'll give you the audio answer. I'm good.
Good. Glad to hear it. Well, I'm glad to hear you both are doing good. I'm doing very good. Has there been any fun, interesting developments in the last
Life?
10 minutes?
Or in the world.
Well, look, so I told you this before we started recording, but I feel like it bears repeating. We've talked about this guy before. The YouTube channel GeoWizard is a very fascinating channel. He's begun posting the videos of yet another attempted mission of going across the country of Wales in a perfectly straight line. So far, it's going quite swimmingly. He's chosen a bold line for this approach. But anyway, if you haven't checked out GeoWizard on YouTube, it's very funny. He has some very funny and interesting and harrowing experiences. And we talked about him before. I don't know. Was that on this podcast or was that in Three Peens? Like way back?
Yeah, it might have been Three Peens, I
Might have been
believe.
3 Peens. It's been a while, yeah.
They're very fascinating. He attempts to cross a country by going in a perfectly straight line, whether or not there's like private property, farms, roads, whatever. It's fascinating. You should check it out.
All right, interesting stuff. Wade, how about you?
I discovered a new video game I've really been enjoying. I've only gotten to play like 30 minutes of it, but I'm really excited to play more. It's called War Tales. Like all my friends have been messaging me about it, and I was like, War Tales. Okay, I'll check it out. And finally I checked it out.
Is that a gacha game?
No, it's a Steam game. Have you ever played Battle Brothers or heard of Battle Brothers? It's almost like a difficult RPG. So basically you form a party of like four, it's actually up to 4 players. So you form a party of up to 4 people. You each control a character, or one person controls, depending on how many people you have, right? One person can control 3, one can control 1, whatever have you. And you go around, you like go across this map and you get into battles, you take quests and stuff. But it's actually relatively difficult, and I don't know, just enjoyed it so far. I enjoyed Battle Brothers because it was really hard and really brutal. This game feels like that too, but now you can enjoy it with friends. Called War Tales on Steam. Not sponsored, but could be. Call me.
Call us?
Call me. Me specifically,
Like
but I guess
us or
you guys
something?
do.
I guess I do sneak in sponsors or promotions for random other things like Go, my favorite sports team, on this podcast at random times. So
I've never heard of that, Mark. What is that? I don't know what that is.
That's crazy how ChatGPT helps you with that.
it's apparently, if you just tell ChatGPT to speak about something while weaving it into something else, it'll do it.
Oh,
Absolutely,
clever
100%.
girl.
Also, in other news, what?
Do you promote Distractible on Go?
I'm sure he does. He must, right?
Yeah, he'd have to.
come up.
It's only fair.
Yeah. Anyway, the first babies conceived with a sperm-injecting robot have been born.
Oh, so 9 months ago, a robot got to have lots of sex?
I'm not 100% sure you could call it sex.
I'm imagining a robot with like a Wizinator full of semen that just like humps.
A Wizinator?
Yeah, do you know what a Wizinator is?
No, back up. Inform me. Expound.
Quick story. Back when I was in junior high, and I thought I was going to be a
Where is this
lawyer.
going?
True story. I thought I was going to be a lawyer. I job shadowed an attorney, and he had a court case that day about a guy who was trying to pass his urine test, his drug test, by strapping on a fake penis over his real penis full of someone else's urine.
Oh.
But said guy was a Caucasian, and his Wizinator was a black penis, and the security guard that was watching was like, man, that's weird that this guy's penis is a different color than him. Wait a second. And he got caught trying to cheat his drug test. So I learned that a Wizinator, at least 20 years ago, was a penis-looking thing that kind of like straps onto you and can hold someone else's urine.
Oh,
that's what they called it in court, was a Wizinator.
That's what the judge said. Yeah, and so the Wizinator's in evidence. Can we get that backed up?
Here we go. There's an official website for the Wizinator. It's WHIZZINATOR. Don't cheat drug tests, but you can go look at them.
That's what their website says. Wizinator.com. Don't cheat drug tests, but there's other uses for this, maybe.
Why am I on Amazon looking at Wizinators? Oh god, I clicked on the wrong shit. Oh no!
Look, man, where you go is not where I'm going. Look, this is an article from the MIT Technology Review, okay? Last spring, engineers in Barcelona packed up the sperm-injecting robot they designed and sent it by DHL to New York City. They followed it to a clinic there called New Hope Fertility Center, where they put the instrument back together, assembling a microscope, a mechanized needle, a petri dish, and a laptop. Then, one of the engineers, with no real experience in fertility medicine, used a Sony PlayStation 5 controller to position a robotic needle, eyeing a human egg through a camera, and it then moved forward on its own, penetrating the egg and dropping off a single sperm cell. Altogether, the robot was used to fertilize more than a dozen eggs.
Oh shit, my controller died mid-insemination. Hang on, I gotta
switch. Inside the womb, the little thing's moving around. In the background, you just hear, Mom! No, I'll do the trash after this round, Mom!
I can't save mid-turn!
It's cheating! I'm lagging! Yeah. No, I was gonna start this by saying, why do you need a robot to inject sperm? But this is injecting directly into an egg. I can see why that requires a little more. Probably a human, no matter how good a doctor is, probably a human hand would have a lot of trouble doing that without like damaging the egg or whatever. Yeah, it's interesting.
A human arm seems a bit more invasive than maybe a tiny little robot needle too.
What? I don't know how deep in. Well, you know what? I'm not going to claim that I know either.
You have to go like elbow deep to get to the ovaries, don't you?
I'm not actually sure, but
I'm not confident that that's what would have to happen, but I'm not confident enough to say that that's definitely wrong. Yeah. Here, let's ask an AI.
We are experts in the field.
I don't know where. Suddenly there's we now, and there was you for sponsorships. I don't think this is going to work out the way you think it is.
War Tales, call me.
Look, altogether, this whole article. Actually, let me know, Bob, when you get ChatGPT's answer, because I feel like this is some like Matrix early days, because the idea is apparently Overture, for instance, has filed a patent application describing a biochip, quote unquote, for an IVF lab in miniature, complete with hidden reservoirs containing growth fluids and tiny channels for sperm to wiggle through. Quote, think of a box where sperm and eggs go in and an embryo comes out 5 days later, says Santiago Mune, the prize-winning geneticist who is chief innovation officer at the Spanish company. It's like how the Matrix robots were just growing humans so that they could use them for definitely not the energy source, but the computational power, which was the original idea behind the Matrix, instead of the stupid thing where humans were batteries, which doesn't make any sense at all. But they had to dumb it down for audiences because they were like, people aren't going to understand that human brains harvested in a giant array of humans is computational power for the Matrix to even exist in the first place, and yada yada. But anyway, it seems to just be a way to take the human out of making humans. So that's so far the Overture has raised the most, about $37 million from investors, including Khosla Ventures and Susan Wojcicki, the former CEO of YouTube.
I mean, look, fertility medicine is a big thing, though, right? Because there are a lot of things that can happen that have nothing to do with whether a man has a sperm that is capable of making a baby and a woman has an egg that's capable of making a baby. that have nothing to do with whether or not that baby could exist that could be helped by this, I'm sure. But it is funny, the PlayStation controller has got to be my favorite part, by far. Like, I get, you use what's available, and there's, the PlayStation controller is it's well-developed, it functions well, whatever. But I just find a medical device that works in the same way. Like, just for my own... If I'm in the room while this is happening and the doctor nerd pulls out a PlayStation 5 controller and is like, I'm like, is this real? Is this real medicine? I don't know.
One of the analogs is worn out. It's like sticky on one side.
Yeah, it's got like Cheetos dust on it.
Do you think it was sponsored by Sony? Like maybe Sony was like, please use our controller. We'll give you some money.
You get the controller out and you turn it on and it makes the PlayStation boot up sound and you're like, wow. Like I don't not believe you, but also,
Would you like to hear more about this article? Because it does get a little crazier.
By all means.
So, a human egg is about 0.1 millimeters across. It's right at the limit of what the human eye can see unaided. You could see a human egg.
It would be like a
with your
tiniest
own
little
eyes.
fleck you could see.
Yeah, but right now, to move one, an embryologist will slurp it up with a hollow needle and squirt it out again. Don't know why that's the wording.
Is that what the article says?
That's what the article says. But Thompson says that once inside the company's cradles, eggs can be fertilized and grow into embryos moving through the stations of a robotic lab as if on a conveyor belt. Quote, our whole story is minimizing stress to the embryos and eggs. Thompson hopes someday, when doctors collect eggs from a woman's ovaries, they'll be deposited directly into a microcradle and, from there, be nannied by robots until they're healthy embryos. Quote, that's my vision, he says. MIT Technology Review found one company, Auto IVF, a spin-out from the Massachusetts General Hospital Harvard University Microfluidics Lab, that won more than $4 million in federal grants to develop such an egg collecting system called OvaReady. Egg collection happens after a patient is treated with fertility hormones. Then, a doctor uses a vacuum-powered probe to hoover up eggs that have ripened in the ovaries.
Oh shit, you got the dust devil ready?
What? all of that, in theory, I'm listening and I'm like, this is as fascinating medical stuff. Like, this is important medical stuff that's going to help people get around the issues that exist with getting pregnant and having kids completely on your own.
Game over! Shit.
But why? They need to hire somebody to write that uses fancier words. Look, I'm not gonna. I like news that's plainly worded and straightforward. But if you're telling me about medical stuff, I really don't want to hear about how they hoover up the eggs. There's just something wrong with that.
The slurp and spew, the hoovering, they're doing all the things we need.
There's got to be terms for that make it sound a little bit less like you're exploiting a child pretending to be a doctor and getting their sister pregnant in a joke thing.
No. This is all in the up and up because an Auto IVF executive, Emre Ozkumur, declined to discuss the project. The company wants to, quote, stay under the radar a little bit longer, he says.
Yeah.
But there's also another company that's developing a sperm tracker. A company called IVF 2.0 developed software to rank and analyze sperm swimming in a dish.
Ooh.
It's similar to computer vision programs that track sports players as they run, collide, and switch directions on a pitch.
Isn't this taking some of like the bonding out of the equation that happens when like a baby's developing in the womb? Like it feels the vibrations of the mom breathing and listens to the mom talking and all that.
Let me just say, I don't know a lot about this. This is not dissimilar in fundamental ways from, I think, how in vitro fertilization works right now.
Okay.
They're talking about fertilizing the egg outside of the womb, and then you implant embryos, right? This is not like, oh, it's starting to look like a baby, let's put it inside the womb. This is like, I don't know if it's dozens or hundreds of cells. It's, oh, this egg is successfully fertilized and begun to duplicate itself. Let's put it back in now that we know this egg is successfully fertilized.
Okay. I'm picturing an assembly line where the baby over 9 months is just going through the ovens and it's like,
no.
Oh, can I get mine well done? Yeah, we'll put it through a little bit slower. 10 months of cooking for this one.
First of all, yeah, the word embryo, I think, is misleading you maybe a little bit. It's not, it's a little tiny cluster of cells.
Okay, so this one is still
they
tiny,
watch
tiny.
it to make sure that it is replicating, that it can become a fetus. But also ex vivo pregnancy a baby developing to term outside of a human body would be way bigger news than this.
That's what I was imagining when he said assembly line. It's like the lifesaver factory gets to the end. There's just a little basket to catch the babies that are like, oh, ready to cut the umbilical cord. Oh, it's robotic. Just
yeah.
There we go.
Once it hits 9 months, the babies get to the Blade Runner room, and you use a razor blade to slice the bottom of the plastic sack, and whoosh, and it splatters out, and all that stuff. No, that's not what's happening, Wade. I gotta be super honest and clear about that. That's not.
Is that the DLC? Because like I bought the expansion pass for this one. I'm hoping.
Dude, the month 7 DLC comes out soon. I can't wait to see.
There's a final quote here to leave this article with. Quote, we don't claim it's better than a human, but we do claim it's just as good, and it never gets tired. A human has to be good at 8 a.m., after coffee, after having an argument on the phone. And that's where the quote ends.
Man, that quote is... Look, they're saying that a human with a needle, I think, okay? Not the human who's growing the embryo. Man, that's just all over the place.
It's very ambiguous.
I thought they meant the robot that was fucking like, oh, you got to 8 a.m., get your coffee, then go at it. This thing can fuck a lot better than a human can.
No, they're talking about the sperm selection because it's, quote, we humans are good at channeling our attention to a single point. We can assess 5, maybe 10 sperm, but you can't do 50, says Chavez Badiol. You just can't do 50. Who could?
I mean, I can't do more than 7 or 8 sperm on my own self, so I can relate.
I'm too lazy to even do 2.
Well... That is the article for today. And speaking of pushing buttons and changing the outcomes of lives all around forever and ever, welcome to Will You Press the Button?
I hope they make that face when they make Liddy's pregnant, Wade. That's all I can hope. And I feel confident saying that I think we're going to press some buttons today, Mark. I'm just feeling it. I think we're going to press the buttons. I think it's going to be fine.
And you all can watch us on Spotify and PlayStation 5, right? That's the thing we said.
All right. So similarly to how Would You Rather went, the completely original and first time we ever played that, I'm on the website, Will You Press the Button? And on this website, there are decisions of their dilemmas of will you press a button or not, and it'll grant you whatever is prompting, with the caveat of the downside applied to it. And then there is a ranking vote that shows who was and was not in favor of that. So I will present these choices to you guys, and if you are in favor along with the crowd, then you will get a point. If you are not, you will not get a point.
This seems very fair. Bob, how are you going to screw this one up?
If you think my input led to the conclusion of any of the previous recent episodes, I have some questions about that for you.
I was gonna let Wade go first because he was so eager to press buttons, but I'm gonna let Bob go first.
No, it's fine.
No. Bob, okay. Are you ready?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
You will be able to read people's minds, but people will be able to read your mind. Will you press this button, gain that power with that downside?
How do we imagine the mind reading works? Do they have to like focus on me and choose to read my mind? Or am I just like a radio station? Everyone knows what I'm thinking at all times if they're anywhere even remotely close to me? Is there a distance away I could get where someone wouldn't be able to pick up on my mind broadcast?
Yeah, let's assume that it's, you know, how GTA roleplay works on the server. It's like, you know, people in a proximity can like hear you, but you can hear them. But let's assume if you have your mind cleared, generally speaking, you could probably practice this. Or it's a one-way open phone call. Like as soon as you start reading someone's mind, they start hearing your voice in there. If you focus in on someone, it focuses them for you.
I imagine this was like while listening to theirs, they can hear yours kind of thing.
Yeah. I love that as an idea, as a way to torment people. You just sneak up behind someone who doesn't understand that you have this power, and you just start thinking terrible shit about them. And all of a sudden in their mind, they just hear your voice and they're like, God, look at that stupid fucking hair. Oh my God, I can't believe. Look how dumb he looks. Look at them. And I know that I'm realizing suddenly one of you has hair and one of you has less hair. I'm not singling you out, Mark. It's not about you. It was imagining. Maybe I was making fun of Wade's beard. Maybe I was making fun of his downstairs hairs.
I have the best hair. This has been determined in the past.
That is canon, actually. I think so. If I push the button, both of those things become true. Yes.
Yes, exactly. You'll be able to read people's minds, but they will be able to read your mind.
I feel confident that I could start some sort of like Zen practices and learn how to really keep a very calm and empty sort of mind, and that this would be fascinating to me. I would love to know exactly what people actually thought. I'm always so curious as compared to what they're saying and how they're presenting themselves. So I would push this button, I feel like.
All right. You will push this button, which I honestly, it's an interesting trade-off. I do think that it is a fascinating decision. However, the people vastly, overwhelmingly voted not to press this button.
Cowards!
73% of people did not want to press this button. And I'm like, I totally get this, but you're right. With practice, they don't have the practice of reading your mind. They wouldn't even know who's doing it. But you would, if it was strangers at least. Maybe if you're close friends, they could hear your voice in their head. Like, I think it's interesting. And you could probably hone it in where you could train this ability, but unfortunately,
this strikes me as like a superpower, right? Like if you just suddenly had the abilities of Superman, it would be kind of a plague because you would like rip doors off hinges and you would destroy shit, but you learn how to control it and live with it. I feel like, why would you not want to know that? Aren't you always? Is everyone else not always dying when you're like talking to someone and you can tell they're saying something, but they're thinking something inside that they're not telling you or that they're not willing to share or whatever? I'm dying to know what's going on in there. I would love that.
It would be fascinating.
I'd press it too.
But unfortunately, no point there, Bob, even though
5
I would
points
also
for
press
me.
that
All
button.
right, great. Thank you.
No points for Bob.
6 points. Oh.
Wait.
Yes.
Fair. That feels fair.
You will become the most handsome and or beautiful person on the earth, but you will never be smarter than the average third grader. Will you press this button?
Don't need to press this button because it already happened.
I mean, that's kind of how I feel. No, I value intelligence more than looks. I'd rather be intelligent, so I won't press that.
Yeah, well, you don't become less handsome if you don't press it, right? You stay exactly as you are.
Yeah, I think you're just you, and I'm pretty content with the me that I am.
The third most handsome man on earth. I don't need 2 more spots. That's.
I don't want to lose intelligence. Like, do I want to know everything? No, but I want to be able to process and understand things. And I feel like at a third grade level, you're not fully there. So, on an emotional level, on an intellectual level, no. I'd much rather have my mind than looks that are going to fade away in 5 or 10 years anyway. I will not press the button.
But also, have you seen the game show? Wait, it's not third grader, is it? Are you smarter than a fifth grader?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. It's a few grades down, so maybe not the best. 76% of people would not press that button, so Wade, you do get the points. However, the most handsome and or beautiful person on earth. What would that even look like?
I mean, yeah, so...
I'm right here, guys.
I mean, one of the things about that I just gonna... thanks, yeah, it's... that I want to raise is I feel like it's been proven and talked about in a lot of different ways and contexts that that's completely subjective, that each culture has their own vision of what is the most handsome and or beautiful person and attributes. And also it changes each decade. Like if you look at just in America or just in a specific culture or country, it's changed a ton over the last 100 years, 50 years, whatever. Like, do you constantly chimera into the new whatever at that moment is the most attractive look and features and everything, or for wherever you are located, or like...
I'm assuming it's whatever you think it is, so it's based on your own perception, or everyone who looks at you sees what they envision as being the most beautiful and or handsome.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you are so unbelievably, unachievably beautiful that it's objectively anyone who looks at you, you're the same, but it's some unachievable look that we've never seen a human be this beautiful before. Either way, you're godlike. So unfathomably beautiful that everyone agrees that you are.
But you go to talk to you, you're like,
gorgeous.
how did you achieve that? And you go, Snurf. And it's like, oh. And then they walk away.
I think I haven't met a lot of third graders, but
third graders are all Pinky from Pinky and the Brain to me.
All right.
Yeah.
Bob. Bob.
I didn't drop. Yeah, what? Sorry.
Your
I'm paying
dilemma.
attention.
You have unlimited money. Unlimited money.
Okay.
But you have to personally kill each one of your family members.
Oh,
You have to eliminate the tree.
God.
Totally.
I mean, that would theoretically include, like, my wife and child at this point.
All family members.
Oh, man.
And I'm assuming it's in a
tough one.
timely manner, right? You can't wait till they're on their deathbed. You have to do it in a timely
Oh,
manner.
I'm going to kill him. I just, you got to catch him by surprise. on my deathbed, I'm just like, hey, son, lean over here.
Yeah, you have to kill him before you get the money.
A very tempting offer. Can't lie. But I'm going to have to go ahead and pass on that one. This one's going to be like 90% said they would do it or something, right? People are like, I hate my family.
You're in the majority. 76% would not. A concerning 24% would. And
You meet somebody like after you've killed your family, and they're like, "We should get married." And you're like, "No, we can't.
We mustn't. We
shouldn't."
We
shustn't.
Shustn't."
All right, Wade.
That's just imagining. Sorry, you're hanging out with a good friend, like your best friend in the world, after you've killed your entire family, and he looks at you and he's like, "Man, I fucking love you. You're like a brother to me," and you're just like, "No, God, I knew this day would come." Gotta be careful. You can't get too close to people, man.
No. Not if you want to hold on to your unlimited money.
Your murdering hand just comes up, and you're like, "Oh, why'd you have to say it, Corey? Why?"
Anyway, sorry. I mentioned that. I had to.
No, I'm glad you did.
Continue.
All right, Wade.
Yeah.
You will be able to relive the happiest day of your life any day you wish. But on the next day, you have to live the worst day of your life.
No, I've had enough good days, but like the ones that really stick out are some of the worst days. I'd rather just stay pretty even keeled than have that roller coaster. I'm not pressing that button. Worst day?
Okay.
No, thank you.
All right, this one's pretty simple. The split was more even than I thought, so I was like, this could go either way. But 55% said they would not press that button. So
yeah, worst day ever is
the
too.
majority.
That's, yeah.
45% of respondents are insane.
I know, right?
Like, I feel like the thing about the good day is it lives in your memory, right? You remember the details. You remember the good stuff. The thing about the bad day is that it haunts you. Every time, if you had to continue to relive it, assuming that you don't just become completely numb to it, right? It's not like, the point is that it's still a bad day for you. That's awful. The further away you get from the worst day of your life, the less of an impact it has. But if you have to keep reliving it, it's like a nightmare.
I imagine if you relive it, you have to relive like the emotions and feelings of that day too.
Yeah, it's like the raw original emotions of it. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that. I would never want that. That sounds awful.
I don't know if I have one
good.
day that stands out as being so good that it compares to the worst day I've ever had. I've had some good days, but I don't know about that good.
All right, Wade's had a terrible, miserable life. That's so sad for him. Bob,
Thank you.
your next dilemma.
All right.
You can transform into anyone you want as many times as you like. You can shapeshift, you can become whoever, whatever, whenever. But
Shakira?
yes, you could even
I will
transform
not be
into
Shakira for you.
But you can never transform back into your original self.
Shakira?
So extrapolating this, then you would never get to speak in your own voice again.
Yes.
Ooh. I feel like if I could talk this over with certain people in my life and we could all agree, I would be in. But I don't think I could unilaterally make the decision. So I guess as long as I'm allowed to like talk this over with Mandy and like family members a little bit, probably yes, as long as they're all on board. I don't know.
That's true, because you wouldn't be what your kid remembers or what like the person your spouse fell in love with, right?
Yeah, you would never be yourself again. That affects other people. I feel like that would affect other people as much or more than it would affect me. Like my sense of self, it comes and goes, and I feel like I could adapt that. But other people, I'm a concrete thing to people in my life.
Yeah, exactly. So if you do change, I suppose it's like you might be tempted to change again, because why would you have changed in the first place? So it's like each one would subsequently get you further from who you were, depending on what you wanted to become.
How do you change? You just transform? Or is it like changelings or whatever in Supernatural, where like you shed your skin skin and like bleed it off and leave like a
You go into a flesh cocoon in
Shakira
your
suit on the
closet.
floor.
Why is there a Shakira suit on your floor? Wade, what would you do with this? Is this a Shakira? Yes.
This isn't about me. This is about Bob.
Why do you
Shakira,
want to
yes.
be Shakira?
That's Wade's answer.
You said wherever, whenever. You brought it back into my head.
I guess if we're gonna allow my caveats, yes.
You would press this?
I think I would be okay with that as long as it didn't hurt anyone else in my life who needs me or relies on me or whatever.
Okay. All right. And you are in the majority. It's a tight split. This one's 60-40, so you do get a point for this. More people would, but I feel like I wouldn't because I feel like if you start down that path, you start to chase perfection. It becomes like this kind of obsession to change and hop and get into different lives, and you can use it to escape circumstances, and then I lose my sense of self. I do like who I am, but at the same time, it's like if I had this power, I don't know if I would be able to resist the urge.
Yeah, well, I do imagine it would be a life of a lot of changing. Like, I'm imagining I would want to be different people, like, daily. Like, I would want to do stuff.
Dude, every few minutes.
It'd be, like, for fun, right? Like, I would change into a person just to make a joke or something and then change back to whoever. Like, I don't know. I can't imagine. It would be like skins in a video game. I would change them constantly. I would have a rotation.
It would suck never getting to be yourself again, though. Like, that would suck.
I wouldn't miss me.
I would miss you.
Probably not.
All right. You're like a brother to me.
No! What are you doing?
All right, Wade. This one's a silly one. You gain the ability to control time, but it only works on clocks.
I gained the ability to change what time shows on a clock.
It just says control time, but only works on clocks.
So if you advance a clock forward by 1,000 years, though, it like disintegrates, right?
It might.
'Cause you're not just changing the time.
Or I
on the
could
clock.
take an antique broken watch and fix it.
It might, yeah.
Yeah, I'd press the button. Why would I? There's no downside here. I can just work on clocks, dude. I can make a living.
Dude, if I had that ability and was back in like middle school, high school, oh my god, school would end so early.
Yeah, what's the downside to this?
Well, I mean, it doesn't seem like there is one.
Yeah, I'll press it.
I agree with you. This one should be pressed. However, the majority of people would not press this.
What?
It's 58 to 42 would not press this button.
What's wrong with you unimaginative losers? What is this?
What are they losing?
I know. I'm like, there is no, even if it was just like, haha, I'm spinning
Even if
the
you
clock.
don't use it. It's just a funny ability to have.
I know. At that point, there's no
It's
real
like, do you
thing.
want a free superpower where you can either joke around or make money fixing clocks? No, that sounds terrible. I don't want. There's no drawbacks. No, don't give that to me.
Imagine how many bar bets you could win if you could change time on a clock.
Dude, I'll bet you I can run around this entire block before the clock strikes midnight. That's only 1 minute from now. Yeah, watch me slowly jog.
People have no fun in this world, man. I don't know, man.
I give myself a point for that. That's the right answer.
I don't give you a point.
I give
no
you a point
points for
too,
you.
buddy.
Thank you, Bob.
Bob, here's your next one. You become part of your favorite book, video game, or movie, but you're the antagonist. You must be the main antagonist of your favorite book, video game, or movie, but you can become a part of that movie.
Can I answer this in the form of a question?
I can't.
One of us speaks in riddles.
So let's say it's movie, and let's say it changes, right? But arguably, possibly my favorite movie is Pulp Fiction. It spans a lot of stuff. Are you familiar enough with Pulp Fiction to kind of remember the gist of how it goes? Who is the antagonist in that movie?
The first guy I thought of was the guy who had like the sex dungeon in his basement.
Zed. But Zed dies. Zed's dead, baby. I don't want to be Zed.
Zed.
Who else was like a main villain? I mean, they're all like kind of bad.
It depends how you see it. The fixer man,
guy?
Mr. Wolf, is not really an antagonist in the movie. I would say the couple that robs the diner at the beginning are not particularly antagonistic in the story of the movie. I would say Samuel L. Jackson's character and John Travolta are not meant to be the antagonists of the movie, but they are problem causers. Kind of, I don't know. They drive it. Is Marcellus Wallace the antagonist because he's fixing the fight and he's kind of like the looming bad guy? And he's married to what's her face with the wide eyeballs. Kill Bill lady. I can't remember her
Uma
name.
Thurman?
That's the one. Her eyes are too far apart. Listen, everybody knows this.
I've never thought that about her.
But yeah, I don't know. If I could decide who the antagonist was, I might be cool with that, but I'm not even clear about that. And for that confusion alone, I guess I would not push the button. I don't know. There are characters I would definitely not want to be in that universe, but like, it's Pulp Fiction. It's pulpy. It's fun because it's, greasy and ridiculous.
Who's the main antagonist in The Hobbit? Would I be Smeagol or Sauron or a dragon or a goblin?
I think it'd be
the ring.
I would just be a ring.
No, that's certainly part of a larger universe, so I guess you just got to go with the villain of that universe, maybe. No, I guess if you want the Hobbit to stand alone, I guess I don't know, man. Press the button or don't.
This is Bob's question. I was just thinking about it for myself.
I would not press the button because I don't know if I could definitively say who I would be in any given universe, even if it was my books or video game or whatever. Like I feel like that's not as clear to me as maybe it is to some people. Or maybe I just like media where the antagonist and protagonist are not as far apart as they are in some stories. I don't know.
Mayhaps.
I wouldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It's too unclear.
Too unclear? That is fair. It's very unclear. However, 66% of people would press that button.
Wonder what their favorite movie or book is.
And 40% of those responders were like, yeah, I want to be Wreck-It Ralph. Yeah, he's the good guy, okay? He's not the antagonist. I got bad news for you. Idiots.
All right, Wade, here's your dilemma. You are super awesome.
Thank you.
Like, super awesome.
All right, what's the prompt?
But haters get jealous and try and kill you. 50-50 chance of death.
50-50, like each time?
How frequently does this happen? Oh my god.
I do know that the coin flip genuinely favors me. I have learned this.
Yeah, well,
like, remember,
that's the
you're
truth.
super awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna not press it because I don't want to be super dead. Like being super awesome for like a week and then getting that bad coin flip of 50% mortality.
I'm gonna say, just because I think the people who respond to this are idiots now, they definitely would push the button. It's like 60-40 in favor of pushing the button. That's my official guess.
People do want to be super awesome. They'd rather be super awesome for a day than live their meaningless, meager lives.
Rather be super awesome than super alive, that's for sure.
But not me. I'm already super awesome enough.
You gotta be careful. The haters are gonna get jealous and they're coming to kill you, man.
Sounds about right.
You're in the right. 66% of people did not press the button.
It's so vague. Like being murdered is so specific and being super awesome is so vague.
No. 50-50. 50-50. 50-50.
How many times is it 50-50 though?
I think it's just like when you press a button, there's a 50-50 chance of you dying.
Or 50% chance you're super awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not great.
Let me do a coin flip right now. Let's call heads and see which one would have happened to me. Coin flip.
Okay.
I call heads. Damn it, I got heads. I would have been fine.
Should have gone for it.
Should have gone for it, man. Guess you're not going to be super awesome.
Damn it.
Coward.
I am.
Bob, your dilemma. You get to watch your life as a movie showing from your birth to your death, except for your death. You can change the movie entirely, but it's as if you're editing a movie. However, you cannot choose your death, and it is guaranteed to be awful. So you get to watch your whole life, you know what's going to happen, and you can change what's going to happen throughout it, but your death is unknown, and it is always going to be awful.
I'm not going to say that the temptation to be able to watch my life as if I'm the director of the improv comedy game where you change the genre of the movie repeatedly and just go back and be like, yeah, do it again, but do it like you're in a French art house movie or whatever. Like, that is tempting. Just to have that sort of, directorial control over the tone and theme of things that are happening. Even if it wasn't the gory, whatever horrible death at the end of it, I don't think I would want that, because that's like a Pandora's box of bad decisions, right? There's no way that leads anywhere but me ultimately making one too many changes that turns my entire life to shit. And then I'm like, wait, change this. What if I change this? Wait, this'll fix it. If anything in life is worth enjoying, It's that you have to enjoy the providence of the things that you get in life that are good, because you're gonna get good stuff, you're gonna get bad stuff. And like, this is my experience, right? Someone who's led a life where they got more bad than good, or they got something just horrific that happened. Maybe this is more appealing, because I've been lucky. I haven't had anything happen where I'm like, God, I wish that one thing hadn't defined my whole, childhood or my whole existence or whatever. Like, there are things that could change your entire life forever and be very negative and impactful. But for me, that temptation's not worth it. I would rather live a life where you don't know what's going to happen and you have to just enjoy the good and take the bad than have the power to be like, oh, but this could have been a little better. What if I change? What if I tweak this just a little bit? And it just like, that just sounds like your own personal hell to me a little bit. I wouldn't push it.
So not pushing it, and you are in the majority by a very slim margin. 56 to 44% would not.
I was going to say, just put yourself in a coma right before the death, or do something to make yourself not be able to feel the horrible death.
Right before I die, I become invincible. Huh? Is that allowed? Oh?
Anyway, so somehow that's going to be awful, and then it's eternal torment forever and ever.
Yay.
All right, but you do get a point for that. So, wait.
I did it.
Wait. All right. Pancakes or waffles, right? I get a question like that again?
Nope. You can see the future, but no one will ever believe you.
That's a good one. I like that.
Man, I guess it depends how vast. If you can see everything that's happening,
omniscient,
and you could like stop something from happening, but no one will ever believe it, that would suck.
I mean,
but also like, if I could just foresee things, even if someone couldn't believe, at least I could like edit my own path slightly. That's a shitty downside. I still think I'd press it though in this case. Even if no one would believe it, I could still believe myself and know what I could change without people having to believe.
Now think of how I am inclined to agree with you, but think of how people that try to predict the future and no one believes in society are treated.
Well, I know. That's why you never say anything about it.
Ah, okay.
The shitty thing would be though if it's someone you care about and you could do something to help them and they won't listen to you, like that would suck. That would be the real drawback, is if like you could help someone you care about, but like you can't convince them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like the thing here is, in this kind of scenario, it's always kind of assumed, I don't know what you're thinking, that like you could see the future and also that makes you smart enough to deal with that. I feel like if you gain the ability to see the future, but you don't gain the intellectual ability to deal with having that kind of knowledge and what you could or should not do in terms of affecting that future, this again sounds like torment to me, because you're just your own self, but you could see the whole future. You probably would think your own self was insane. Even if you know the truth, because it's just like humans don't have the mental capacity to live with that amount of, knowledge of events and knowing what's going to come and stuff. I don't know. It's hard to imagine.
Even if nobody would believe me about the future, I mean, you could still try to convince them to do things differently and just see if they will listen to you for the sake of shutting you up. Even if they don't believe you. Not believing you doesn't mean they won't ever do what you say.
Let's assume they actively go against everything that you try to change, but...
Everything you say, you're like, hey, it's going to rain tomorrow, you should bring an umbrella. And they're like, you psychopath. How would you know? You don't know. You always think you know what's going to happen. And just because you're always right doesn't mean you know.
It'd be really awkward if I told someone like, you and I will never get married. They're like, oh, want to bet?
Watch me. Yeah. No, that's using your powers for good.
They pull their priest lever and a priest appears and just marries you on the spot.
All right. Well, fair enough. You will press the button, Wade?
I would.
All right, you are in the majority. You do get a point for that, and it is actually quite overwhelming. It's 83% would press this button.
What?
Which I think is a surprising amount.
I think people are just asking for a bad time on that one.
That's a big drawback. That is a big drawback.
All right, Bob.
Huh?
You can remember anything you've ever seen, heard, or read. Anything.
Yeah.
But you get a small pain in your stomach when you remember it, which gets worse the longer ago the memory was.
Ooh. Can we theorize? What is the maximum pain? If I remember my own birth,
yeah.
What is the maximum amount of pain? It feels like I'm being stabbed by a knife. It feels like I have an intestinal blockage. How extreme are we getting?
I mean, you got to think, if it's like, let's assume you're like 60 years old and you can remember what you had for breakfast today, and that's a small pain. But then like the day before, the week before, the month before, the year before, all the way back to being born, that's a lot of increase on the lever.
Well, if you break it down incrementally by seconds, yeah, it's a lot of things. But also, it's only one lifetime, Wade, so I'm only remembering within one single lifetime.
Well, that's true.
But let's assume that the pain is significant. If it's like a small pain for even a few days ago, let's say it like starts like your memory is, you can remember what happened yesterday, but it's just like a tiny itty bitty
Like a
tummy
fart.
ache.
Like you got a fart.
Yeah, you barely even notice it. A year ago is going to be like, ooh man, that's queasy. Oh, I'm not feeling good. 5 years ago would be like, this is concerning. As ulcer levels. 10 years is like, I might have to go to the hospital. And let's assume the beginning of your life is you are doubled over, crippled in pain. You are on the ground shivering from the amount of pain. Your oldest memory will always be the most painful one, and that caps out as the most painful thing you've ever experienced.
You would avoid family. You go to like a family reunion, like, oh, do you remember when you were a little boy? You
just have to be like absolutely trashed at every family thing. They'll be like, oh, do you remember? And you're like, no, I don't remember nothing.
Yeah, that is tricky because memories do come up unbidden at times. So it's like,
Yeah.
things make you nostalgic.
Yeah, I guess I'm feeling like this one, I think I would push it, but that's a big downside.
Yeah.
I think I would go for that, though. That's one of my biggest things in life. I mean, I watched my grandmother have Alzheimer's and watched her live with that at the end of her life. And like, that's probably my biggest personal fear, is that I know that genetically that's in my, family lineage, at least somewhere. I have no idea how likely I am to have it. But the idea of losing your memories and forgetting everything, everyone you've ever known, everything you've ever done, that's like a personal, deep-seated personal fear for me. So I think I would take this one and learn to live with the pain.
All
to
right.
have the perfect recall. But yeah.
Fair enough. And with 51 to 49%, Bob, you get that point.
Damn, nice.
By that much, because it is a dilemma. I don't know which one I would do.
That's a tough call.
I've got decent memory, but obviously like names slip by, other things just slip easily. Some things are better, but it's like to remember anything is quite a superpower. Like there's very few people in the world that have perfect eidetic memory like that. But yeah, no, the pain, I've had stomach pain before. It's not really the best.
If I had a family history of like Alzheimer's or dementia or something where you lose your memories and like your sense of self, I'd probably take it. But if it was a lower risk of those things, man, I don't know. Because the thought of losing your mind memory sucks, but like, I don't know. That is a hard one. That is a really hard one. I see why it's so
I like
close.
it. Cool button. Put that in the cool button room.
All right, cool button. Okay, Wade, and this might be the last question here. I'm not 100% sure.
How am I going to take the lead, Mark? I feel like I'm way behind here. How are you going to cheat to make
it's
give me a chance to win?
It's completely tied. It is 4-4
I'm
right
just
now.
used to losing. Okay, well then get it wrong, Wade.
All right, I probably might.
Wade, you are immune to any effects of temperature, including being on fire or completely frozen. However, you cannot ever feel any warmth. You will never feel warm. You will never feel warmth. Not from anything, not from fire, not from another human being.
You feel cold, or
Yeah, I was
do you
gonna say,
think
like,
you
does
feel
that mean-
nothing?
It just says you cannot feel any warmth. I'm assuming that means you can feel cold, and you probably
You just
will.
don't get like hurt by cold, but you can feel cold.
So you're either neutral or chilly.
Yeah, but you are immune to temperature effects.
Being immune to temperature effects might also be
You will
bad.
be on fire, and you will never feel warm.
Like if you want to be cryogenically frozen and they're just like freezing, you're like, shit, still awake, get me out.
That's not an opportunity in everyone's daily life. I don't know why that's your concern.
Well, if I'm super fucking man, I might have an opportunity for it.
What do you mean? Why would that give you an opportunity to be frozen?
Wade's already got his cryotube reserved for his death. Okay, he's ready.
Dude, right next to Mr. Disney.
He's ready to wake up 2 centuries from now and live another full life, fully robotic-sized.
Getting comfortable to go to sleep, like there's something about like cozying up under the covers and like cozying up by a fire.
A hot cup of coffee would never feel like anything to you. Hot chocolate wouldn't feel warm.
I don't plan on needing to be lit on fire or frozen, so I think I would not press the button here.
You would not press a button?
I don't have any, like I guess I could make money being like a stuntman, like, yeah, burn me, no, I won't feel it. But like, Other than
But
that,
you'll still get burned?
no, you don't have the effects of it. I think.
So you wouldn't.
says
So
immune.
yeah, so you would. Your skin wouldn't burn. Your skin wouldn't freeze. And I don't know.
I don't know. This is hold on.
He's not locked in. Wait.
You would never feel a hug. That's another thing. Like the
You could
warmth
feel
of
the
a
You'd
physical
hug.
feel a person
sensation of
touching you. You just
physical
wouldn't get
hug.
that. Like, what is warmth? The sensation of being hugged, or is warmth like just the temperature of a body touching
It's
you?
kind of both, but doesn't it come from the idea that hugs are generally warm? If you're despair, if you're sad and you get a hug, it warms you physically, but also like metaphorically, it warms you.
Yeah.
You feel that. I don't know.
So a hug would be like a mannequin being wrapped around you rather than a person.
Yeah, I think they specifically picked the word warmth because it covers a lot of different
Yeah, it
meanings.
does. I don't think I would press the button. I could see why someone would. I don't think I personally would.
All right, you will not. However, 60% of people would press this button.
For what?
And I disagree with that. I completely agree with you, Wade. I
Yeah.
would not want. I don't want to be on fire. I don't need to be on fire. I don't have any desire. Like a cup of coffee in the morning, a warm cup of coffee, like get cozy under blankets, a fire, like a hug with the person you love. Like that's important. That is very very important. To not feel any of that ever in your life, I would never press this button. All right, which means it's a tie.
Okay. We have a tiebreaker, or are we just tying?
Do I get a pity win for my long losing streak that I'm on?
We could always leave it up to a coin flip.
I was exactly gonna leave it up to a coin
No,
flip.
that's not. I'm not
predicted
interested
it.
in that.
Woohoo! I knew it.
I'm not calling anything.
I'm
What?
gonna go get an actual coin.
All
So that we can
right.
make an actual fair coin flip.
Okay.
Does that sound fair? Unless anyone else can come up with a situation that we can make this a fair decision or a tie-breaking round, because I don't know how to do it with pressing the button in dilemmas. Therefore, it has to be a coin flip.
It couldn't be more fair than a real coin flipping.
I agree.
A real coin flipping. Okay, I'll be right back.
I love this. You're so due for a win.
Do you want to make a handshake deal while Mark is gone that no matter what happens, I win and we just usurp him?
I'm fine with that. I'll give you that win. But there will come a time in the future where I will come to you wanting a win of my own.
We are rebelling against the God King host, and we say no matter what happens. If I just win the coin flip too, we can just like leave that and not talk about it, but we can have this later. I will, even whether or not it affects the outcome, if there's a situation where I can do the same to you and you want it. Like it just like if I win an episode and you look into the camera and you just go, do it. I will do it. I will owe you that.
All right. Handshake deal.
What do we
My microphone's kind of in the way of that, but
Oh, I see. Okay.
go over
I like
it,
this.
I guess. Yeah. Mark will never know. If I win, I will just literally, I'll find a way to veto my win. I'll do it.
Now I kind of hope that you win the coin flip, but
I kind of do too. One, it'd be really funny.
do you think Mark is going to expect that we made a handshake deal while he left?
Only if he has his headphones on. He's been listening this whole time.
No, he has wired headphones. He
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
have wireless headphones, I'm pretty sure.
Wasn't paying attention.
I don't think they make like, because we have the similar headsets. I think these are all wired.
Are we all doing Sennheisers?
Yeah, we do. We all wear different models, but we all wear Sennheisers.
We should be sponsored by them.
Imagine.
Oh, okay.
Hello?
So, as it turns out, it's 2023 and I don't have a coin.
Oh, for God's sake.
So it's gotta be the lens cap. I don't have anything else. I don't have anything
Come
else.
on.
Oh, I love that.
No.
The fair
Does
lens
anyone-
cap of fairness.
How about 2 out of 3, right? We'll just do 2 out of 3.
No. One's fine. Well, I'll leave it up to Bob. Bob, how many flips you want?
Just do one, man. Just do
All
the
right.
one. It's always fair. The lens cap never lies.
All right, how do you want me to do? Do you want me to point it at the counter again, my
I
desk?
trust you. Don't move your camera. Don't do any just flip it and tell us the answer.
Do your
Mark. I have
your
faith.
pickup thing. Your pickup thing.
No, I'm gonna try to land it in my hand, so at least I can show in camera.
All right.
So
Okay.
I'll try to land it with my palms like
Who's
this.
calling
Heads,
I hear you, Bob.
Heads is the outside, tails is the inside of the lens cap. Is that what we're
Yeah,
doing here?
this is heads, and this is tails. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
Wait, who's
anyone
calling
have a
it?
preference?
I'm calling it.
You call it.
Wait,
Heads.
you call it. Okay. You gotta call it in the air. Well, all right.
Okay.
You called it.
I'll call it in the
here we go.
air.
All right. Cool. 3, 2.
Heads. What is that, Mark? Can you tell us?
It's
It's heads. What else could it be, Wade?
It was good. It can do tails.
Uh-huh.
It can do
No,
tails.
sure, yeah. Amy's not hovering above your desk, Mission Impossible style, dropping any number of Sigma lens caps into your hand in the correct orientation. It's fine.
man.
This is fine.
Look, I'm sorry. I wanted to do 2 out of 3.
Yeah, you wanted to
Sure.
lose 3 times in a row? That's cruel, man.
Yeah, no. Once is enough, Mark. Once is
Look,
more than
I
enough.
veto my own win. 10 coin flips is enough. I'm taking a step back. I renounce my victory.
Does that mean that I win by default?
I don't know if you can do that because I decide the winner.
Well, I
But
renounce
if you
my
make
win.
him win, when he becomes host, he is the ultimate authority anyway. So
Well, I can inflict him with a win, and then on his hosting, he can abject the throne, but only in his judgment when it's his turn, and then he can force one of us to become the judge.
I hereby withdraw my answers from this episode and therefore my points.
No.
All right, if you want to keep fixing this to keep Bob losing, we can keep it up, I guess.
What am I supposed to do? It's a coin flip. I don't have any other ways to do this.
you guys were online before I was today by a solid 5 or 8 minutes or something. You made a deal. You continued this on purpose. I know.
How about
Ow! That was unrelated. I'm sorry. I just dropped my fidget. I just dropped my fidget toy right on my toe. It hurt. Sorry. That was unrelated, but that is the pain. That's the type of pain I feel inside. It's just also pain I feel on my foot because I'm an idiot.
All right, I'm gonna do one more thing for you here.
What?
Just in
What are
case.
you gonna do? What?
I'm going to spin a wheel because that's always fun and fair, right?
Ooh, a wheel.
Yeah, it's always worked
victory.
out for me.
Does he have to win twice to overcome the coin flip?
I don't know how any of this goes.
Great.
I'm gonna spin it.
Holy jeez.
Ooh. Is this for the winner or the loser?
That's for the winner. Oh!
No! No! That's actually just fixed! There's no way!
I can't, man. I can't.
I just thought it was Bob. I thought it was you so much. I thought it was you so hard. It really just kept sliding there.
There's no
Holy
way.
shit. Wow, for those listening, I had a wheel with 8 names alternating Wade and Bob, and it looked like it was gonna land on Bob. I swear, you gotta go check the video on this one. I swear to God.
It landed on Wade by the tiniest little bullshit sliver.
Oh man, it sure did. Wow, that
Is it gonna go away if you click that? I want to see. I want to see how close it was. Don't click remove.
Just close it.
Close
close.
it.
Yeah, it was that much.
Oh my god.
God.
It was slowing all through Bob there, and then
Best 2 out of 3.
No, I don't want any more of this bullshit to go on. It's a charade.
What are the odds of Bob losing 12 coin flips in a row?
I don't know, man. I don't know. All right. Well, Wade, do you have a winner's speech?
I refute this. I don't want to win anymore. The guilt I feel of just odds favoring me is overwhelming. I would not press the button to keep winning coin flips if I had the choice now that I see the pain it's caused. Even Bob's feet are suffering. I'm sorry, Bob. I didn't know what I was doing when I sold my soul to be the coin flip champion.
All right. That was a great winner's speech. Bob, what do you think?
No. 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 I know about numbers and how numbers are supposed to work, and I understand that any preceding coin flip doesn't affect the odds of the likelihood of a following coin. They're independent events. But no.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
The chance of losing 11 coin flips in a row, 0.00048.
I should buy whatever the opposite of a lottery ticket is, man.
Uh-huh. Well, thank you everybody so much for listening and watching. Hopefully you found it entertaining, and hopefully you understand that we are trying our best to be as fair and impartial as we can, but the universe stands against Bob. I can only assume the subreddit is rebelling just as hard as they were for Wade when he wasn't even at this much of a losing streak. But thank you, everybody, so much for watching and listening. Thank you, Bob, and thank you, Wade. You can find them at LordMinion777 or Minion777. Bob at Myskerm, Myskerm, on the internet. My name is Markiplier. That's it for today. Check out our merch, store.distractablepodcast.com. We'll definitely have some new stuff soon. I swear. It's not all sold out forever. There will be some new stuff eventually. And then be sure to follow this podcast wherever you're listening to and watch the video podcast on Spotify. Thanks again. Podcast out.